today we talk about the quiet revolution of mental health. And, this mental health crisis is nothing new. We dropped God for the idea that science would save us, that rationality would bring order and common sense would reign supreme. Instead, it brought unprecedented confusion, hatred, and a mental health crisis. Historically speaking, we went through the war phase where we thought dropping bombs may just bring us peace. What a ridiculous notion. But nonetheless, we've tried it again and again. We've tried to use force for gain since the dawn of time. When that didn't work, we then turned to drugs and smoking plants, then sex, then industry, then a new atheism. Then we got even more lost and turned left. Today, we hope modern medicine will inject some common sense into us. But that too is failing as we become treatment resistant to medications that we ingest to fill the void we have for God, love, and a life of connection, universal oneness, and contribution. We swallow mushrooms to glimpse at happiness while vomiting out the lies we believed would save us. Now, finally, the world realizes a new thing that is an old thing, that humanity cannot save themselves. Only God can do that. This is the quiet revolution of mental health as we create a paradigm shift from rationality to brilliant sanity. In the modern era today, we're witnessing a paradox, really. We've never been more connected, yet never more alone, never more medicated, never more distressed. And according to WHO, the World Health Organization, over 1 billion people are currently living with a mental health condition. And in 2021 alone, an estimated 727,000 deaths were attributed to suicide. Okay, that's trying to switch off the lights to any kind of hope for almost 1 million people. And that was born somewhere. People birthed that hopelessness, and we'll get into it right now. Beneath these grim statistics, though, there was a perfect storm. The pandemic, aftershocks, and the depression that's created, the anxiety, what's next. Couple that with economic stability and the digital drain. A quiet revolution is definitely taking place, and we are moving past the biological only model and the hopelessness of secularism towards a holistic restoration of the human spirit. We've made mistake after mistake, and that's the plan because intellect gets us nowhere. Think about it. The best minds that have ever lived have got together, connected, and got us nowhere. Anyway, the genesis of the crisis is caused with the notion that we can run the world, run ourselves without an anchor, without divine purpose. The current mental health crisis didn't just emerge in a vacuum. It was created by environmental factors like social isolation, massive problem today. Also hustle culture are immediate triggers to it. And the foundation of all of this kind of instability was laid by a shift in our collective worldview. What's interesting is the failure of new atheism and hopelessness. We've just got out of that now. And for several decades, the rise of this new atheism, led by figures like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens, promised that stripping away superstition, as they called it, would lead to a more rational and therefore more happier, sane society. No, the data suggests a totally different outcome. What were these guys thinking? and the millions of people that followed them? Were they looking for something good to come from that kind of negativity, that kind of rationality? By reducing the human experience to a series of chemical accidents in a cold, indifferent universe, this is what they thought it was. And they spread this worldview, inadvertently stripping people of a metaphysical anchor. When life is viewed as having no inherent meaning, that's nihilism, it becomes a hollow world. And if there is no ultimate hope, which we are built to strive towards, to desire, the weight of financial stress, climate anxiety, systematic injustice, it all becomes unbearable. Science can explain how we function, sure, but it has struggled to explain why we should persist. That's meaning. You know, we've got it all, put in us already that we do not quit. We never give up. But that number of 727,000 is a dire call for us to cling to what's inherent in us, our values, who we really are cannot be forgotten. So anyway, these old angry atheists, these old angry men did cause a heap of book sales and then concurrent mental health issues for so many people, especially the youth, whose eyes widened at the idea of reductive, literalistic accidents being rational, ordered, and creative. Thankfully, common sense of those like Dr. Jordan Peterson, John Lennox, Fesser, D'Souza, Belinsky, they all brought sanity to the seductive nature of that new atheism. New atheism is dead. Didn't work, was never going to work. I just wrote a little article on Disney, Marvel Comics, and that violent trail of murderous, amoral, baseless, and godless narratives that they portray to 8-year-olds. I'll leave it there. But these companies, just like these atheists, took God right out of the picture and fed in the new crush your enemies kind of culture where kids witnessed so much violence in 90 minutes that they literally become numb to that violence. But then, of course, numb to morality and emotion. Mental health crisis, here we come. So this quiet revolution I'm talking about is characterized by a return to foundational truths, nothing we don't know. Truths that have shaped the Western civilization that we live in today for centuries. Christian principles, for example, are no longer being viewed as archaic relics like these guys tried to make them out to be, but rather as the original psychological blueprints for human flourishing. It's not like the fragile optimism of positive thinking, not at all. That's where people go wrong. Christian faith, which is my faith, perennial tradition, everybody's included in that, north, south, east, and west. And that Christian perspective offers an objective hope for everybody. No one is excluded. And this isn't just feeling better stuff. It's the conviction that suffering has a purpose and that every individual, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, all the cultures of the world, every individual possess inherent, unshakable dignity, which I call the Imago Dei, the image of God. Everybody has it in them, and no one's excluded. And this is the power of objective hope that we can actually finally come together. What were we told to do in the beginning? Come together. Yet the Cain and Abel story just persists today. Look at what we're doing in Iran at the moment, what we're doing in Ukraine. So the pandemic of loneliness is something that's definitely increasing, but it's definitely changing. You know, and C.S. Lewis said you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And that really has brought so many new people to faith lately. So many famous people have brought themselves into faith. Kat Von D, Russell Brand. I mean, there's endless. Daddy Yankee, Shia LaBeouf, Angela White. I mean, there's so many, and it's not going to stop. It's a quiet revolution of mental health, but spiritual health. A call to reality and who we are will save us because the truth will always set us free. So we're seeing this rise in spiritually integrated psychotherapy. Clinicians, for example, are now seeing that ignoring a patient's faith, which they've sort of literally been ordered to do, we won't go there, over the last 2 decades, is not good for their biological and psychological resilience. Faith provides the meaning, while science provides the mechanics. And that marriage is beautiful. It works so well together. So again, the message is always Christianity is all about connection, not division. And it's been baby Christianity up until now. You know, I'm included and you're not. I'm going to heaven and you're going the opposite direction. Nonsense. Nonsense. We're all learning, growing, and transforming, and not being conformed to the small confines of an egoic mind. So, in conclusion, we're reclaiming the peace of mind, peace of planet. You know, this mental health crisis was a glitch in the matrix, where we tried to, get people to offer us elixirs in the form of these pills, blue pills or red pills. You get to choose, but it didn't work. It didn't work. It helped, and that's what it's supposed to do. Medicine is supposed to help, but it's not there to transform you. And this is the psilocybin rush at the moment. I want to lay down, take some mushrooms, go on a trip while going nowhere, and hope that I'm transformed without changing a damn thing. But when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change, and everything, including the psilocybin, the medicine, the psychotherapy, all of it is good. But it's not enough. The quiet revolution of mental health says it is not enough. You need God. You need truth. You need hope, and you need total understanding of why you're here, what you're doing, and where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be confused. So get that right. Meaningless spreads dis-ease, and that disorder becomes mental disorder, mental health crisis. Rather, simply do what we've always been told. Follow the 10 Commandments, Christian principles, and integrate the teachings of the Buddha from the East. Yeah? Don't be afraid. Yes, God loves people in the East and the West, the North and the South, and He saves them all from themselves, including you. Again, we just can't do it alone. We are not designed to. Any mental health issue, anyone and everyone is included in the journey towards transcendence of the mind, mankind, and malevolence. We're transforming it all. We're going above it all, above form. When we see this with our gift of contemplative intelligence, seeing with the eyes behind the eyes, we will become the change we want to see in the world. Wasn't that Gandhi? So right now, through this quiet revolution. We're rediscovering that we aren't just biological machines to be fixed. No, we're souls designed for connection, purpose, and hope that transcend the headlines. Keep the faith. Namaste.